This is a video that shows you some screens of death on computer operating systems and other devices. Let's start with the black screen of death in Windows. This mainly happens when a DOS application failed to execute properly. And here's an example of what one may look like. This is a simple one, and there'll be a little more complex one later. And then here's one that shows more information. Of course, these are from older Windows systems, and not so much the new ones. Then there's the blue screen of death. I think we all know what that is. It occurs when kernel crashes or a system error occurs. So then it displays a blue screen that looks like this. I'm pretty sure most of us have seen this. Of course, this is an older one. And this is a newer one that is in XP and Vista. It shows much more complex information than the previous versions of the BSOD. Now we're going to go to VMware for a while. The purple screen of death. Purple screen of death, also known as PSOD, occurs in VMware when an ESX VM kernel experiences a critical failure. That has something to do with their servers, I believe. And this is what it looks like. Like this. It's just like a BSOD, only it's purple with all the hexadecimal numbers and all the letters and all that fancy stuff on it. Now we're going to the Mozilla Foundation. The yellow screen of death. Occurs when Mozilla apps suffer an XML parsing error. Now, it can happen in the Thunderbird, which is for email, Firefox, which is for web browser, and I'm not sure about Sunbird, but that's for the calendar. I don't know if there are any other ones, but these are the ones that I've found out. So, I don't know if there are new ones, but I've never experienced that yellow screen of death. According to this example, this looks like a Windows error, because if you look, it says there's a C drive, it says C:/, and that's normally something you'd find in a Windows operating system. Now we're going back to Windows. The red screen of death. This screen is basically used for bootloader errors, when there was an error when booting up. I'm not sure what systems it was on, but it was mostly in a beta version of Windows Vista. And that's what it looks like. That's basically it. Alright, a system shutdown. This, of course, is in Windows as well, because Windows has many numerous problems. This can be caused by numerous things. One main example is when a certain process is terminated, the screen would come up with a countdown to a shutdown, normally giving you like 59 seconds or a minute to save your data and shut down. The process might have been terminated by an infection in the computer or the system, or by the user. And that's what would cause that. And now here's one I'm pretty sure all Mac users have experienced at least once. Since Macs are less buggy than Windows, you don't see crashes that often unless if your machine's real screwed up. It is basically the same thing as a Windows BSOD, only it's a little more simple. It's caused by a kernel or system error like Windows, only it's for Unix. And here is what it looks like. Looks kind of like that. It also has other nicknames as well. You can look those up on the internet. Okay, now a Linux kernel panic. Now, Mac and Linux are both Unix, so they could be the same, but my friend said he got the same one as Mac OS X, but I never saw one of those. I'm just going to show you the one that I found. It's the same thing as Mac OS X, basically, because Linux is Unix-based like Mac OS X. If there's a kernel or system error, the Linux kernel panic shows up. So basically the same thing. And here is an example of the Linux kernel panic. It's just basically like a black screen of death with white text on it. Okay, now we come to the old kernel panic, or also known as the sad Mac. These were on the old generation Mac systems, and they also had chimes of death, and they mostly happen when there's a startup error. So here is an example of two of the chimes of death. And then later they came up with digital sounds, and those are just two of them. Now the bomb, you can also call it the bomb screen, occurs when there is a system error. Now, this is on the older systems like OS 9 and OS 8. I've gotten this once before. It looked kind of like this. You would restart and hold down the shift key, which I believe boots you into safe mode. And then finally, the sad iPod. You would get this screen on your iPod when you had damaged hardware or firmware on the device. Well, that's about it for now. I hope you learned some stuff, and I hope you enjoyed. See you later.